Good afternoon, YouTube. Give me a second. I cannot believe it's already 6 o'clock. I am getting used to this lifestyle of not having a fixed schedule. It can be odd, but you know, I have done it before. I've done it for most of my life, but you know, there's worse things to get used to. Okay, so now I can see chats. I was wondering how I can go ahead and deal with this chat situation. Um, Give me a bit here. Okay, so let me go ahead and start. A couple things I want to mention. Um, so what a day. What a day, what a day. I have these cards, the same cards that I do this all the time. I need something to do with my hands when I'm on live. And I pull out my cards and then I actually never read the cards. Well, not never, but it takes me a while to get to the cards to read the cards. So don't mind me. I just want to read these cards really quickly before I reshuffle because it was very interesting. It looked very interesting yesterday. Couple things I want to go through really quickly. So I just read a comment under my video and there was some disagreement and possibly discontent to some degree about not agreeing with me as far as praying to Jesus doesn't help gang stalking. Well, it's my opinion. Everything that I give here is my opinion, and it's what's worked for me. I haven't prayed to Jesus a single day, and my gang stalking situation has drastically improved. And I understand how, because, like, you know, I grew up with Christianity myself, in and around it, and I understand how a person can be very defensive of their faith, of their beliefs. I myself, I am very, what's the word? If someone were to come into my house and do something to my altar, I would be furious. I would rage. I would take it very seriously. If someone were to ask me to denounce God or my God or pray to or bow to another God, that would be an act of war. So I get it. I get it. I understand that. And I don't want to offend anyone. I have no problem with Christianity whatsoever. And I think that you should take whatever opinions that I have and balance them off with your own. Don't do what I say to do just because I said to do it. I'm simply providing a different perspective and what's worked for me. And, you know, in my time of being gang stalked, a lot of people who believed in Jesus or prayed to Jesus as well got swallowed up whole and, you know, haven't come up for air since. And, you know, I'm not gonna say that I don't believe Jesus ever existed or anything like that. But for me, I think it's, you know, I've described it as being metaphorical. Now, I talk about push the idea of spirituality. And so I always say that I know there are Christians here. I am tolerant of Christians, and hopefully Christians can play nice and be tolerant of other people as well and other beliefs, even though they may offend you. You know, it is what it is. There's something to learn from everyone. But if you can't be tolerant of it, and if it simply offends you too much, it is okay to decide that you do not want to listen to what I have to say, but I am going to be myself. I'm not going to be Christian or have Christian beliefs, especially if said beliefs involve praying to Jesus. Now, I know these people are using spell work, and I think prayer can very much help. And if you truly believe in a Jesus energy and this is what works for you and this is what you want to do, absolutely. Hold on, I gotta check if we have a little moderation action happening here. If you totally believe in this is the way for you, listen, I will never tell anyone not to do that. Never, never, never. So I think we can just all be tolerant of each other. But if we can't, then like I said, no one has to stay. No one has to watch what I do or any of the above. All right? So I just wanted to get that out of the way. And like I said, I have no problem with Christianity. I have no problem with any belief. I take a piece from everywhere and I like it. And I don't believe, you know, I don't believe Mother has an issue with Christianity or anything else. I don't think so at all. I think we love and we appreciate everybody's perception of what they need to do for themselves. And I'm most certainly not someone who would need someone to believe exactly what I believe in. I would totally respect, befriend whatever people of any culture, any race, any whatever. It's nothing to do with that. So if I do in fact lose viewers because people would like me to express Christian beliefs, that is absolutely not going to happen. So you guys are, you know, anybody who doesn't like what I'm talking about, you are absolutely welcome to leave my channel, to, you know, unfollow, unsubscribe, whatever the case is, because I get it. I get that it's just not for everyone, you know. Hopefully there is a situation where something that I provide is of use to someone and they can take from it, and you know, it's not in opposition to their beliefs. So that's all I could say about that. However, are my personal beliefs gonna change because people are offended? No. Never. No. No. And as I go through this journey, I go deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole, and I feel comfortable with it, and I feel happy in my journey, and I'm grateful. And that is my life path, to explore the full breadth of spirituality. And that is funny that I'm saying that, because I was in the car thinking today, what if I, oh, who knows what that is? What if I actually decided to do root work? Like, what if I actually decided to go into spell work? I'm being accused of it anyway. What if, because listen, this kind of spiritual battle that I've been thrown into is not a, how do I put it? It's not a introductory spiritual battle. It's not just people throwing light spell work at me. It's dodging really heavy stuff. So that leads me to believe that I have the capability to handle learning really, really heavy work. I wouldn't go, like, and I thought about it, and I went down this path in my head, and I thought to myself, if I were to do this, I don't have time for no kitchen, nothing. I'm not, we're skipping all of that. All. And we're going very deep because I have the kind of protection that would catch me. I have the kind of friends that would anchor me. As a matter of fact, so much so I don't even need to. But I was thinking about it. I thought to myself, this is interesting, and I think this is something that I want to learn about. I want to know more. It's very interesting. I don't have a fear of it. I don't have a fear of consequences because I like to bring respect to everything that I do. I like to bring intelligence to what I do, and I think I would be guided down that path. And you know what? I spoke to mother about it, and she was enthusiastic. She was happy. Shockingly, I thought it would be like, no, you don't need, but it was fun. It was a fun conversation. Anyway, put that aside because I know that kind of stuff that scares people. People are very like nervous about things like that, and I know the people attacking me most certainly are nervous of it because the way things are with me, and I already don't even dibble dabble in those kind of things. I can only imagine how much crazier it would be if they felt like I was at home able to do the things that they pay other people to do, the heavy stuff. So I was thinking about it. Anyway, um so I know that's going to further alienate Christians who have very staunch beliefs. It is going to further alienate people. And, this is what happens. You have to be yourself. You have to love what you love. You have to like what you like. And then you have to let the expression of your authentic self get rid of people who are not supposed to be in your space. My life is a spiritual walk at this point. I already did the whole, I already did this, the other stuff. I already did the other way. It didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. The situation I found myself in, it didn't work for me. So I like spiritual people. I like, even though it's a kooky world, it's crazy. It's crazier than the normal world, but I feel comfortable and I'm curious. And from the time I got into spirituality, it has been very fascinating for me. It has assisted me in understanding people and understanding how to be human, how to be a human being. And I know that sounds odd to people, but I have never understood people in my entire life, and I've never understood like how to truly like fit in because I don't understand what people are doing. I don't understand how people are living their life, and it's boring to me. That it's always been. So it is what it is. If someone comes here, I'm absolutely going to give very good gang stalking tips. Actually, when I'm done this, I'm going to get into my tip that I'm going to give for the day. I should be doing tips for the day, but I'm going to get into that. However, again, you're gonna be inundated in spiritual knowledge and a lot of stuff that you're gonna hear about. So you gotta have a really strong stomach if you want some good tips as well. And hopefully you learn tolerance while you're here for other people and other religions. If you're coming from a place that your religion is the nucleus of the universe, then you're gonna have a root awakening, at least on this channel. We're gonna be tolerant of other people, you know, accepting even at some point. Okay? So that is what that is. My tip of the day is SIM cards on cell phones. So your cell phone is accessed in a number of ways. First access point on the cell phone is through emails that are logged in on the cell phone. So if you're opening emails, phishing emails, then automatically your phone will be infected. The secondary way to infect your phone, and when your phone is infected, your phone is mirrored. It means that whatever you see on the phone, the hacker sees on the phone. The second way to infect your phone is from the SIM card. So a text message is sent to the phone, and it's like a very aggressive sort of way of entering your phone. So once you have a SIM card in the phone and a text message is sent to the phone, doesn't matter if you open that text message, if you delete it without opening it, it doesn't matter. The phone is automatically, it's going to be hacked just from sending you a text message on your phone. A lot of times the phones, the emails, your apps, they're hacked by multiple people, not just one person. There's multiple people that want to keep tabs on you. So it might be more than one hacker. It might be more than one person who's paying for what's happening to you. People want to see what's going on. People have invested money and they want to know what's going on. So there's that. So as far as your phone device goes, you say, my phone is hacked. What do I do? You go out and you get a new phone that is brand new that you set up from scratch. You set this phone up. This phone I'm on right now, this device is hacked. I'm not dealing with stuff this way anymore. So let them do what they do. Let them do what they do. So you get the phone you're setting it up from brand new, no emails on the phone and no SIM card. You can log into existing accounts, so existing social media accounts and whatever. I would stay away from accounts like, if it can be helped. If it can't be helped and you need it, then you need it. Like things like Instagram and stuff like that, because some apps will tell the user like what device they are logged into. So you can go in the settings and you could be like, okay, this is logged into an Android, blah, 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 this model. So you want to look out for things like that. You also want to look out for things like Gmail, I feel like stores a lot of information and like shares a lot of information or whatever. Again, this is for if you want a device that you want to be sure is clean, or you want to have a fair amount of comfort, that it's clean, then this is what I would do. I would not put email on it. I would definitely not put a SIM card in it, because those are the two ways that I know for sure that they get in. Now, if they get really aggressive, which possibly they will, because gang stalkers are just known to be, the whole act of gang stalking is known to just be very aggressive. So if it's a situation like that, they could just hack you from the internet modem in your house. They could just, especially if you're in the beginning of your journey and they have a lot of money, it's gonna be nothing for them to just get the information off of the modem, or they just apply brute force and just take their time and hack the modem themselves with a password hacker or whatever. So, but this is what I would do as far as if you want to be able to have clean communication. And I would say if you push it and they're not like desperate, you could have at least like a month, minimum of privacy. Get all the stuff that you want to get out of the way done at that time. If there are emails you want to send, reports you want to send, any communication that you want them to have no access to, that is when you would do it. Communication with reporters, lawyers, whatever the case is, that's when you want to do it. And if ever again you want to find yourself in a situation where you can have safe communication, that's all you got to do. Go get a clean device, log into your email, log into whatever, do what you have to do, and you can keep it for a while. Maybe you might want to keep it as a phone that you never log into your personal Wi-Fi at your house on. You just want to log into Wi-Fi in other places. It's going to be hard to detect that phone in a public setting. So there's an extremely useful tip of the day that didn't come from Jesus. Okay? All I'm being honestly, I'm being cheeky. Um, Next thing I want to go to, um, balance. Now, some of the advice I give, often the advice I give is advice to myself and not necessarily advice to other people, okay? It's like me giving myself advice out loud. It's great advice and it's advice I'm working on taking sometimes, or it's advice that I've taken and I've taken it so long that I'm just like, I'm frustrated. Balance. What makes this very difficult is balance for myself personally. Balancing, you know, my light side with my shadow side and not leaning too much into any one side. That is not always easy for me, to be quite honest with you. It really isn't. It's not always easy. It's very easy to be one or the other. And especially when you feel like people are attacking you, especially when you feel like people are taking advantage of your kindness, it's very easy to be in like a tyrannical sort of state of being. It's very easy to be to jump off the deep end. It's easy to do that. But when you do that, you lose yourself. You do. Now, I can't speak to everyone, but I can say that there are people who, how do I put this? If you are spiritual and you know who your protection is and you know where you're supported, you know, not everybody, and this is the thing about life that I have to explain. Not everything is just black or white. Sometimes things are, they're in a middle ground. So sometimes people are supported by both the dark and the light. Sometimes people are welcomed everywhere, and you'll say like, how is that possible? Like, how is it possible if you can access lower vibrational energies, if that's what we want to call it, then how can you also access the highest vibrational energies? How is that possible? I don't know. That's the simple answer. I do not know. But there are a unique set of individuals that can tap into both sides. And if you can tap into both sides, then you have to exist in balance. And it's easier said than done. And it's not something most people can do. You have to be able to go into your shadow side and not stay there too long. And you know, for me personally, I like to stay more in the lighter part of me, but you know, every once in a while you got to be everywhere. You got to be everywhere. And that's the thing about the universe. When you really come to look at it as a whole, it is both, it is all, it is everything. People tend to forget that God also made Lucifer, Satan, demons, and everything else. God made hell. And also, these energies are given dominion over the earth on contracts with times. They know that they have, let's say, 1,000 years, that they're going to be in control and they're going to have an ability to influence people, to influence mankind. This is in your Bible, it's in Revelations. And that when it's time for that power to be taken back, it would get taken back and it would be passed over to the light side. People know how this works. The powers that be, they also know how this works. It is not just one version of anything. It's not just the light and it's not just the dark. There is a balance between the two. So this is something that all you got to do is actually really read the Bible. and not just sit on a high horse. The energy of death, the energy of pestilence, the energy of war. Because these are all energies, it's not just acts. These are all energies. These are all entities. These are all what someone might call a god. What some people worship, just war as an entity, as a god. So these energies, they absolutely do exist, and they're in the Bible, and they're acknowledged by the Bible. They're acknowledged by God, not just acknowledged, but they work for God. Everything works for the universe, but it must be in balance. The issue is not it existing, the issue is it existing outside of balance. When it's out of balance, that is the issue. So it's not that there is no war, it's that the wars are out of balance with peace. There must be a balance that is maintained. God champions people in war. There is always a time. Death cannot not exist. Death must exist. It's a cycle. There's nothing negative about death, and from death comes life. It's on the same cycle. It's the same thing. So there's nothing to worry about or to fear from any of this. Things happen, and everything teaches you something. Everything advances you forward. So there is really no energy to fear necessarily. A lot of the fear is gone just with understanding. So that's why even a situation like being gang stalked, everybody in the situation has something to learn. Everybody in the situation can evolve from the situation a better version of themselves. Which brings me to, before I get off of the balance thing. So if you can access both energies, if you can access your light body and you can access your shadow side, and by that I mean you can access both heaven and hell, and feel comfortable in any of these environments, the next thing I would say to you is, one of the reasons that you don't want to be too much in your shadow side is there are a lot of people who can very much access, the lower realms, but have absolutely no access to higher realms. You absolutely can be there, but you can't lose the balance. Not necessarily because you would lose protection, but you would lose the ability to tap in higher, as fluidly or eloquently as you normally should and would. And that is how you create. You cannot. Lower dimension is for destruction. Higher dimension is for creation. Very basic. Very, very basic. So you can't go to lower entities and ask them to help you create anything. You're only going to be binded to them, and then they're going to use you for consumption. And if you grew up in spirituality versus you just tapped into it at a certain age, you kind of know this stuff. Like, if you go to an entity that's a lower entity and you say, make me a millionaire, all it can do is put you in a situation on a cycle to constantly owe it. Well, in order for you to keep the money up, you got to keep sacrificing this. You got to keep bringing us this. You got to keep doing this and doing that. And that puts you in a death reverse situation. That's all you can do. You cannot create. That's why people have spiritual gifts. They can do black magic and spell work, but they have no light in their life. They have to constantly steal to get by. For spiritualists who have no light to make money, they have to sell their services. They have to sell their destruction. They have the ability to destroy. They have to sell destruction. So instead of going to an entity and asking the entity to make them rich, they go to human beings and they say, I have the ability to do this. So if you pay me, I can do this for you. And then they work almost like a liaison in that way. And do you get particularly rich from that? I don't know. Maybe if you're helping like the Kardashians and stuff, I guess. I don't know if they can't create. They just don't have the ability to create. So It's very important to stay in your light. It's very important to temper yourself all the time, to rebalance yourself, and not stay in the dark. It's not to say that you playing around in the dark, you just don't want to lose your ability to be everywhere. That is very special. That's very sacred. Which brings me to my other point. If you have such a gift, you are not just the bearer of a gift, you are the custodian of that sort of gift. That is something that people covet. So I talk about in my city what I call zombie people, and those are people who have sold their soul for some money, made a negotiation with obviously very evil people, and given those people access to their vessel, known or unknown, whether they were aware that they did it or not. That's what they did. And so when they did something like that, the problem is that now the occultist is able to drive in people's vessels, which is something I think he shouldn't be able to do if he's still doing. I'm gonna pin a note in that. I don't think that's something he should be able to do. I think he should lose that ability. He should drive in his own vessel. We'll take care of that. Anyway, you would not believe that you can actually people can actually ride around in your vessel the same way entities ride around in your vessel. Other human beings can do that as well. They can ride around in your vessel. This is something that John Ferrer, I've seen him do. I was actually thinking of a situation too on the road where there was a Jeep that someone was driving, and I could see behind their eyes that they were not really conscious or presently aware behind the wheel of that vehicle. And they have this thing they do where they always hover and drive like really close behind you to make you feel uncomfortable on the road. And it's just one of those things that they continue to conceive of to try to make you uncomfortable in your day-to-day life. Now, that being the case, that's neither here or there to the story, but what I'm saying is that when you have a particular gift that somebody wants, they want to ride around in your vessel. They want to be you. They want to get in your vessel and they want to be you. So they want to enjoy intimacy as you. They want to make friendships as you. They just want to ride around as you. You have to protect this gift with your life. You were, what's the word? You were entrusted with something very special, and you have to protect it with your life. It's a life or death situation, and if that means if you die with your gift. It's that simple. That's how a lot of people are walking around here with gifts that they shouldn't have. And you know, that's why sometimes people say, well, how comes this person has this gift and I don't? Because you would have mismanaged it. You would have mismanaged it. And it's something, some gifts are some things that you don't want to get in the hands of the wrong people. Money is secondary. If you've been entrusted with something so important, you don't think they're going to take care of you financially, money is secondary. You have to protect it with your life because God's depending on you. And you were given that gift for a particular reason, and it's not to go around trying to make people, especially evil people, money, or people who don't even have a control over their emotional body, to put them in a situation where they can make rash decisions and destroy other people's lives. If I die with my gift. No one rides around in my vessel. Just in case it's ever unclear to people why I have absolutely no interest in whatever they're talking about, and why I don't ever give up my gift to you when I could use my gift and manifest myself out of the situation. Don't be ridiculous. Some people really are low IQ with the kind of stuff that they expect. Long shots. I call him long shot John. All the ideas are long shots. It's a long shot. Like, not just from one net on the basketball court to the other one. I mean, like from one continent to the next. It's a long shot with an arrow. It's a long shot. Not gonna happen. But we can keep hoping and wishing and praying to whoever or whatever. If anybody's listening to any of these prayers, it's a long shot. If you have a gift, you protect it with your life. And if you have to go back home, you already know where home is. It's not that bad of a place, is it? It's a very welcome, warm, loving place. So you've got to go back home. You got to go back home with your gift. You protect it with your life. You do not sell your soul for money. You can make money, you'll be fine. You don't even need that much money to be happy. I think they said it was 70,000. Now with inflation, they probably have to adjust that for inflation now. But who knows what it is that you can. God takes care of you. And if you weren't supposed to be in this battle right now, you would have not seen a day of gang stalking. They have avoided me being gang stalked for years until it came to now. I've been avoided out of the gang stalking thing for years. If God didn't want you gang stalked, you wouldn't be gang stalked. You wouldn't have seen it. Something would have come up, some opportunity, you would have been whisked away to like some jungle in freaking India or something, and nobody would have, like, you would have been whisked off of that path. You are here for a reason. You're here to learn. You shouldn't even be. I have gifts I know for a fact have not been activated yet, for a fact. And I probably shouldn't have it right now, because if I did, the storyline would be shorter. For sure. For sure. So they're like, we can't do that right now. let her learn. Let her learn. And I am learning. And I am learning. I think people play with themselves every day when they play with me. Especially where I am right now. You're playing with yourself, and it's not like Russian roulette where there's like, some of the slots don't have a bullet in it. Every single one is loaded. Every time you play with me, you're playing with yourself, guaranteed, every time. That's the phase that we are in. We are in the guaranteed to play yourself phase. So you can draw your little paper crown and put it on your head and say, congratulations, I played myself. Because that's the only crown you're going to get, is the paper one that you draw. I don't really care at all anymore, because I am not interested in stupidity. Not one day, not 1 second, and nobody is getting away with stepping a toenail over my boundaries. And I've made what my boundaries clear, but I didn't have to. We know what the boundaries are, right? We could get our crayons and we could write. We could get our crayons out and we could figure out what's a boundary we shouldn't cross. We could figure it out. We don't need help on that. So this is where I stand with it. And the best I can do is try to have balance in my approach. Play any games you want with yourself, but do not ever think that I am going to hesitate to squeeze, ever. Never. Okay? Whatever nice thing you thought was happening here, you guys all know better. I'm nice because it's a pleasant way to live. I'm not nice when I'm violated. I don't think there's anything to be nice about. It's a response. It's self-preservation. And there's still a robbery that we need to address. Right? See, I don't come on here, I don't ever talk about my house or my car. But y'all gonna give me what's mine back. Anyway, don't find yourself being one of the zombie people. I think that's one of the saddest things I've ever seen. I don't know how it's happened. This is when people like to delude themselves and be very silly, be very childlike and childish, hold on to ideologies so firmly that they are willing to let evil in with a smile just to not be able to give up a story in a book. We don't hold that closely, the story of Jonah in the belly of the whale. Let's use balance, okay, in the way that we consume information. Now, there's this thing where people want me, I'm seeing lately, they're trying to force the Jesus thing down my throat. This must be the new strategy that gang stalkers online are. Pray to whatever you want to pray to. Get off my account. I don't care. I'm required to come here and tell a message. I'm not required to care about your opinion or even converse with you, for that matter. We don't care. I don't pray to Jesus, and you could pray to whatever you want and live your life however you want. However, when you come on here talking about I've been gang stalked for 19 years and counting, that's on you. Okay? All right. Whatever Jesus agenda, whatever the agenda is, it's been firmly, flatly rejected. Okay? I don't care. You care about subscribers and followers. This is a life or death situation. I'm not on here making friends. I'm on here passing on information. These are very serious situations. People come on here for real information. People don't come on here to see how many likes they're going to get for the day. This is not about engagement. People are going to consume information because they need information. That's it. Get it through your cranium. All right? And get that Jesus crap off my page. Anyways, that's it for the day. Those are the 4 points that I have to make. And whatever detectives are in my neighborhood, that's between you and the detectives. You don't have to prove to me that you know what you know, because I don't come in your energy and I don't care about what you know. You got to worry about it. I'm not on the run. I walk free. You remember what that was like? You will never know that again.